Hello everybody, this is Prince Oponzer here, and I have not been making any videos pretty much at all because I want to put fighting game videos up on my channel, but I believe that I am not that good at all at fighting games. But here's something that I would like to talk about, and that is my love for fighting games. People, I love fighting games. Like, I am so hyped for Dragon Ball Z Fighters to the point that it is like no tomorrow, and I will be signing up for that beta the moment it's up on Tuesday. So, and the reason why I'm making this video because I like to talk about something that I have to get off of my chest, and it is pretty much the topic on how I became so in love with fighting games. Now, if you would like to listen to this story, it is fine. If you don't, it's okay. I understand. But everybody has something that they love, and that is a story on why they love that so much. So this is pretty much my story. Now, I've been playing fighting games ever since I pretty much say I would say 6 or 7 years old. And the very first fighting game, now most people will probably say that their very first fighting game was either Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter 2, or I would say King of Fighters or something like that. But my very first fighting game was the I'm not sure if we can call it a fighting game, but it was the fighting game that the Power Rangers had on their Sega. Yeah, that was my very first fighting game, where you fight the Rangers and the monster goes big and blah blah this and that. But playing that game, I only did one move as a kid, and that was just the punch button. Having friends come over and play with you, friends actually beat you, and they get cocky and stuff like that, like, oh, I'm good at the game, haha, stuff like that. But pretty much all the person did back in the day, as I see now, is he used the Black Ranger, and the Black Ranger has like this infinite spinning move that if you keep tapping the A button or whatever the heck the button was on the Sega controller, he does like this spin and you pretty much can't get out of it. So what I did as a kid, I found out that I can actually shoot my gun with the Red Ranger, and I basically stayed back and just shot my gun because I practiced and I seen something that I can do in order to beat that. Now, back in the day, my friend said that, oh, you're just doing the same exact move, but in theory, he's also doing the same exact move, but I adapted to it and I beat him. Now, the same thing pretty much goes intact with Halo, for instance. Halo is not a fighting game, of course, but there was a friend who always beated me in Halo, and I've said to myself that I will beat you in Halo. And I've played Halo for roughly, I'm gonna say, pretty much my 360 years. Back in the day, I've learned how to get better in it. I've played with people who actually helped me get better in it, and at a party, I've played against my friends and I actually came up on top, and that was a really good feeling because it's like I've trained for this, I was prepared, I was ready, I found out everything about the game, and I am victorious. Now, that was a little later up on the history, but let's go back down a bit. So how the way I pretty much got started with fighting games is I went to the arcade in the mall, which was pretty much there, but arcades don't exist anymore, sadly, which I highly wish that PC is trying to get to where they are. It's back. Like, I know arcades are still in Japan, but man, it's like I honestly don't know why arcades left the scene. But if you guys know why arcades left the scene, please let me know in the comments. But it's like I was at an arcade and I turned around and seen all the games that they had there, and I was like, oh, I was so shocked because I've never seen that many games in one place. So I put it on my mom and I was like, hey, please, mom, please, can I go in there? So my mom goes in there with me. She sees how happy I am, and I ask her, hey, can I have money so I can play some of these games? My mom's like, sure. So while they were shopping, they actually let me stay inside the game room. Now my mom told me to stay completely there until they got back, so she gave me enough tokens and stuff like that to play pretty much all the games until they got back. I've seen a game called Marvel vs. Capcom. Now, as I was playing this game, you know, I was basically just pretty much just pressing random buttons and doing random things and beating people, and I felt good about myself. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm actually pretty good at this game, as the way I thought. I was like, I'm pretty good at this. I like this. This game is cool. You know, I'm playing with characters as I forgot the guy's name, but he had like a white outfit. I forgot his name, but oh my god, he had like this super like cyborg power arm. I'm not sure what his name is. It can't, like, I know it, but I can't get it from the top of my tongue. But I think it's Bionic something. But it's not the guy with the blue with the shades. No, it's not him. But yeah, I honestly forgot his name. But man, he was my guy, dude. He was my guy. So, you know, I'm feeling so good about myself. And as I'm playing this one person, like, I look on the corner of my eye and I see this guy. Like, this is what gets me started in fighting games. Like, this is what makes me love fighting games so much. So there's this guy and he's looking at me play. Like, he's looking at the screen, and as I beat the person, I wave at the person, you know, tell the person, you know, thanks and stuff like that. And the guy turns and looks at me, and the guy's like, okay, it is your first time playing this? And I'm like, yeah, it is. The guy says that I'm okay. The guy says I'm pretty good. But so, as the guy opens up his suitcase, I see, like, back in the day, you know, I didn't know what it was, but, you know, I seen an arcade stick. So I was like, what is that? I see an arcade stick, I see a controller, I see so many tokens inside of that guy's suitcase. And the guy asks, mind if I play? So I'm like, hey, yeah, sure, go on ahead, you know, I don't mind. So the guy puts in the tokens, you know, the guy says good luck. So I'm playing the guy, you know. Of course, the first round I absolutely destroy the guy. The second round, it wasn't so easy for me to beat the guy, but I beat him. So now, once I was feeling good about myself, I glance at the guy and I see the most serious face of all times. Now, this guy, the third round, he put in his last tokens. He destroyed me. Like, I had put, okay, so I got put in infinites, I got put in setups that I didn't even know existed in fighting games, and it put me in shock because there was something that I thought that I was good in, and this guy just annihilated me, and I realized that I wasn't as good as I thought I was. And the guy just closes the suitcase, looks at me and says, keep practicing. As I'm sitting there looking at the screen, shocked, I realize, I'm like, I need to beat this guy. I need to get better. So I stopped and I run out of the arcade. But I've noticed, I wanted to catch the guy to get him to play again. But I realized my mom told me to stay in the arcade. You know, that's back in the day. You know, you were an obedient kid. You know, you didn't want to get in trouble. But the guy turns around and I says, hey, please. And the guy comes back and he looks at me, smiles, and tells me, keep practicing. And he walks away out the door. Now, for me, I don't know if that was a sign on me ever being good at fighting games or anything like that, but it pretty much was the start. And without that guy, I believe that I would not been able to play MK9 or MKX or Injustice for that matter. Pretty much one of the best fighting games for me that I love to death. And I know the history on Injustice 2 on what is going on right now in the game about the whole zoning type thing, but if you look past that and actually people actually go in and fight stuff like that, the game is actually very entertaining to watch. Now I know about the whole thing with, you know, one of the greatest players of all time. Yeah, I have finally came to the conclusion on saying and telling my friends that he is pretty much the greatest MK, not MK, but Injustice player of all times, which is Sonic Fox. Now, that Captain Cold setup that he does, like, there is legitimately nothing you can't do. There is nothing you cannot do to get out of that. I've put myself into that situation in practice mode. I've tried to get out of it for 3 hours straight. There is no way in hell you can get out of that setup unless you can't let Captain Cold put you in a corner. But I mean, come on, at least to say it's Sonic Fox, there's no way you cannot let him get you in the corner. But it's like, if that happens, you're legitimately dead. Now you can actually, I will say, either attack him in the motion on him trying to do the snow globe, but still it's like it's still going to hit you. But all in all, what I'm trying to say is that without that guy, without me learning things, and I pretty much wouldn't like fighting games. Now Injustice 1, I will say, was the very first fighting game that actually got me interested in actually playing competitively, because back in the day, you know, I used to read comments and people used to be like, oh, it's 1-1-2 into 4 to back, you know what I'm saying, like back 4 or whatever, stuff like that, into blah blah this and that. I didn't know what it was, so I had to pretty much ask someone, hey, what is the 1-1-2 system pretty much is, you know. And then someone's like, luckily someone was happy enough to tell me, like, oh, okay, so 1 is square or X or stuff like that. And I was like, oh, okay, so now I understand that. Now in terms of what the FGC is now, it's like, honestly, if you think that you are good at something, or pretty much like in competitive things now in general, it's more bigger as it was back in the day. Now if you believe that you think you have what it takes to actually go up against some of the pros or stuff like that, you know, take the shot. Like, it's not too late. Take the shot. Now most people are at the situation where I used to be, where it's like the expenses on actually going to these types of places, you know, like where you are and where the places is. But if you're actually close, like an hour or something like that away from something that you think that you can go to, please, like, take the time and go for it. Like, you may never know, you may become the next Sonic Fox, or pretty much the next the next Tokido, or the next Knuckle Dude and stuff like that. Like, you may not know until you take this shot. And I'm in that situation now. I'm not saying that I'm probably gonna beat these guys, because I mean, like, of course you have to have the mindset on you can do it, but it's like, I have moved to somewhere that I'm actually close to tournaments now, and like I said, I believe that my gameplay is not all that great. I truly think that there's a lot I need to work on to, which is fundamentals in fighting games. But it's like, if other people say that, hey, you are actually pretty good, you should go to tournaments, stuff like that, I don't see it as a bad thing for me to say so that I'm not good. But like I say, I believe that my gameplay is not all that great. But if other people, to their eyes, say that I'm okay and I should try out, then hell, I'm probably gonna do it. But all in all, fighting games is generally a really fun thing, because to me, losing in fighting games is a huge learning curve. Like, in fighting games, I love to lose, because once I lose in fighting games, I become better. It's like I have the sense of fighting games. Like it's like I have the power of a Saiyan in fighting games. Once I lose in that next match, I will try something completely different, something that I believe that I can't do, but I end up doing it, and it is the best feeling ever, coming back and beating somebody who beats you so much and actually being able to beat them because you learned from losing so much, and analyzing what your character can do and can't do, what their character can do and cannot do, what their character can stand up against and what their character cannot stand up against. Is a good feeling because you played so much, you know what to do, you're confident on beating something, and learning matchups is 100% thing that you have to do in fighting games. Like, you have to know who beats who, what, like stuff like that, like frame data. Now I'm not a big fan on frame data. Unlike me, I find it completely hard. Like, if anybody can like teach me what exactly on how to do frame data, I would appreciate that, because I cannot read that whatsoever. It's just that I don't understand it. Like, I find it hard because I play on pretty much reaction time, and it's like if I see a move that's slow, I can react to it because I've seen it so many times and I've seen the activation of it, and I know whenever, I guess, the stall time, or people say the recovery time, or what it has. But all in all, it's like, without that guy, without him doing what he did for me whenever I was a kid, I believe that I probably would not be playing fighting games right now. I feel like, now, no shots fired to, you know, all the sports fans or people like that, but I feel like I'll probably be one of those people that plays NBA 2K, where, you know, you can see the edges of the ball, and freaking NFL Madden 16, where you can have like better grass graphics and you can actually look at the sky and see the sweat glance on your character. It's a joke what me and my friends do about the next game, just stuff like that. Oh, hold on, let me keep going. Oh, I'm gonna keep going. NBA 2K16 or 2K17 or 18, where you can like customize the crowd and become the announcer. Okay, let me stop. Okay, but anyways, it's like, without him, I believe that I would not get to where I am in fighting games now. I believe that I would not understand and level up on learning things, that situations that I couldn't get myself out of and stuff like that. And I believe that I wouldn't have the confidence to actually take my chances. It's like, who knows, you know? No one ever knows until you get out there and try it. Please, people, let me know, what was your history on fighting games? Why do you love it so much? What is your favorite fighting game? What is your first fighting game you ever played to get you started into fighting games? My name is Prince Opposer, and I will see you guys next time.